Hello everyone, welcome to the new series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today we are going to discuss very important topic which is MPC meeting. RBI may hit red pause button again. So what is this MPC meeting? This is the Monetary Policy Committee meeting of RBI which is going to be held between 6th June to 8th June. Before moving to the points of discussion, first of all we will discuss the previous day prelims MCQ. So this is the question. The question I have asked about the kavach, and here I have asked about the not correct statement. So in this question all statements are correct, so the correct answer would be D, which is none. I hope you understood this question. Moving ahead, this is the points of discussion. First of all, we will discuss the news and brief about RBI, monetary policy of RBI. Why will RBI pause? What are the chances that RBI will change its policy stance? What will happen to lending deposit rates in case of pause by RBI? And then practice question for prelims. And this topic is very important from GS3 perspective. So you have to remember your syllabus along with your preparation. Moving ahead, what is the news? So I have already told you that from 6th June to 8th June, there will be a meeting by Monetary Policy Committee of RBI, and in that meeting they will decide the inflation rate and repo rate, that whether they will increase or decrease or it will remain neutral. So for this meeting is going to be held. So this is the news, and most of the economists are saying that it is likely that RBI will not change its stance and the repo rate will remain unchanged. And what is the repo rate? So the repo rate is 6.5%. Before moving ahead, this is a homework question for you, that who is the present governor of RBI? I know this is very easy question, but you need to remember all these things. Moving ahead, Reserve Bank of India. So this is brief history about Reserve Bank of India. So it is a central bank of India, everyone knows. And what is its primary function? So its primary function is to manage and govern the financial system of the country. And it is a statutory body established in the year 1935. And what was the act? Reserve Bank of India Act 1934. Many times, this year is modified by 1952 or 1947, because many people thought that, the RBI has been formed after the independence, but this establishment is before independence or pre-independence. So you need to remember all these things. And what is its main function? So it regulates the issue and supply of Indian rupee. Recently we have seen that the RBI has withdrawn rupees 2000 notes. So who has done this? So the authority is RBI. And there was, after in 2016, what we have seen that, there was demonetization, and after demonetization, the rupees 500 notes and 1000 notes have been withdrawn, and after that rupees 2000 notes have been issued. So who has issued this note? So RBI has issued this note. So it is the authority to issue and supply the currency. And it also look after the central government's money, and it is also called bankers of the bank. Why it is called bankers of the bank? Because it lends money to the other banks. And it also plays very important role in India's development, because of its policies and various changes, India's economy is strengthened, and there are so many changes brought by the RBI which seems to be very favorable for this country. So this is the work and brief history about RBI. Moving ahead, monetary policy of RBI, because most of the questions come from this section, so you have to be careful for this section. So what is the monetary policy of the RBI? So what it does, it regulates money supply and availability of the credit and interest rates. And what was its primary goal? Its primary goal was price stability, because many times we see that there is inflation, stagflation, so many things are happening in the economic system. So according to that thing, RBI take its stance that what kind of things are possible at this point of time and what is the requirement of this country. So this is the main work of the monetary policy, and there is also a committee formed for this monetary policy, and the name of the committee was Monetary Policy Committee. and what it does, it is responsible for fixing the benchmark interest rate in India, because we have seen that repo rate is decided by the RBI. So what would be the interest rate, and it will going to be changed or not, or it will remain unchanged. So these all things are decided by the Monetary Policy Committee. And who are the member of Monetary Policy Committee? So the ex officio chairman of this committee was RBI governor, and there are 6 members. Among them, 3 members belongs to RBI and 3 other member belongs to the central government. So the central government nominates other 3 members, because earlier what happened that these all things were decided by the members of RBI only, but later, in order to maintain more check and balances and transparency in the system, the central government started nominating their person as well. So in order to balance this thing, 3 members are nominated by the central government. So this is the monetary policy of the RBI. Moving ahead, why will RBI pause? Because many experts, economists are saying that RBI is going to pause, and they are predicting that this time the repo rate will remain unchanged. So what are the reasons that this thing is going to be happen? Though we have not, we don't know what is the result yet. It will come by 8th, but still, what economists are predicting, we have to take care of it. So in the April, what we have seen that RBI has paused to the repo rate. So we have seen that there are very positive changes of it. And what are the positive changes of it? That the retail inflation has been declined, and it has declined 4.7% from 5.7%. So it has not crossed the limit which has been set by the RBI. And what was the limit set by the RBI? So it was between the 2 to 6%. So here it is 4.7%. So it is between the limit, in the limit. So and other thing is that the RBI has predicted that the GDP will grow by 7.2% for this financial year. But in the first quarter, what we have seen that GDP has grown by 6.1%. So this is very positive changes, that in the first quarter itself the GDP has shown positive trend. So due to the pause in the instance of RBI, we have seen all these positive changes. On the other hand, so many experts are also saying that due to pause in US Federal Reserve, the RBI is going to pause its repo rate. So there is no decision made by the US Federal Reserve yet, but it is expected that the US Federal Reserve is going to be remain unchanged this time, and because of that RBI will also remain unchanged, because there is a relationship between US Federal Reserve and the RBI. Because if RBI will increase its repo rate, so there is less chances that it will attract the foreign institute investor. So in that case, in order to attract more investor from the foreign, so RBI have to keep its policy remain unchanged, because there should be balance between the rupee and dollar. So these are the reasons that RBI is going to pause this time. Moving ahead, what are the chances that RBI will change its policy stance? So there are 3 stances which are given by the RBI. First stance is that maybe the rate will decrease. Second is that it will remain neutral, and third is that it will increase. So here experts are predicting that that whether it is going to be increase or decrease, or whether it will remain neutral. So many experts are saying that it will remain unchanged. So what are the chances that it will remain unchanged? So it will remain unchanged because of withdrawal of accommodation. And what is this withdrawal of accommodation? That RBI knows that there is a liquidity sloshing in the market, and it is aware about this situation, but slowly or gradually it will change, and it will make its policy more strict. But nowadays it will not make its policy suddenly strict. So this is the withdrawal of accommodation policy. And others are also saying that RBI and MPC is going to follow the policy of wait and watch, which means that the economic system of India is not just dependent on the what is the policy we have decided or decided by the central government. It much depends on the weather also, because economy of India is very agricultural based. So it also depends upon the weather, that how weather is going to be this year, and the monsoon also. If the monsoon will be in favorable condition, then there will be the boom in the agriculture sector, and it will also show the positive trends in the economic system. So there is also chances on the weather system, and there is also a prediction that after the withdrawal of rupees 2000 notes, there is a liquidity surplus in the market. So because of this, RBI is not going to change its stance. Moving ahead, what will happen to lending deposit rates in case of pause by RBI? So many experts are saying that it is going to pause this time. So what is its impact on various sectors? So if RBI keeps the policy rate unchanged, then all EBRL, means external benchmark lending rates linked to repo rate, will not rise. So here the question comes, what is EBRL? So EBRL is a lending rate on which bank themselves decide that this is the lending rate we have decided, and we are going to lend on this rate. So what are the lending rates? So there are three criteria. One is repo rate, second is 91 days treasury bill, and third is 182 treasury bill. So it is up to on the bank that on which lending rate they are going to fix their EBRL. And the second is that it will also provide relief to the EMIs, because if EBRL will not increase, then it is going to a positive change in the EMI also. And the third is that bank is not going to increase its fixed deposit rate. As we have studied the linkage between US Federal Reserve and RBI, so there is also similar relationship between RBI and other banks, because other banks lends their money from the RBI, and if RBI will not increase its repo rate, then other banks are also not going to increase their fixed deposit rate. And in such cases, what happen? There will be improvement in the low cost current account and saving account. So this is the reason there will be the more surplus in the liquidity, and also there is a reason that withdrawal of the rupees 2000 notes, because most of the notes will be deposited or exchanged in the bank. So it will also increase the liquidity in the market. So these are the reasons that RBI is going to pause this time, but final result will come on 8th. So we will decide on that day that what the RBI has taken its stance. Moving to the question part. So in today's class, we are going to discuss prelims MCQ. So the question for today's class is, consider the following statement regarding Monetary Policy Committee of RBI, because recent trend of UPSC has shown that it is also asking factual question. So you have to also take care of the factual thing along with the concept. So your first statement is, the committee consists of 5 members. All members are from RBI only. Third statement is, the committee is constituted by the central government. How many of the statement given above are correct? In this question, they are asking correct. So you have to answer accordingly. Your options are only 1, only 2, all 3, none. You have to answer this in the comment section. I hope you like this lecture. If you have any queries related to this lecture, please comment. Thank you.